Hey guys, welcome back to COVID-19 Fest, Quarantine 2020, whatever we're calling our festivities. Thought we'd try a new way of recording, so we'll see how this goes. So we're going to talk today about a man named Xiuquan. He is one of history's most significant figures, although he's not somebody you necessarily hear a whole lot about outside of a Chinese history class, unfortunately. And we'll talk about why that happens. But it's kind of an unusual, unique story. It's a little bit strange. And I'll let you draw some conclusions about what you think about it at the end here. I won't tell you what to think. I'll just tell you what happened, and then we'll talk more about how to interpret that next time. So, background info on this guy. He is Hakka. That is an ethnic minority that lives in the southern portion of China. The word Hakka itself means guest person, because the Hakka were kind of nomadic, not like the Mongols on horseback with bows and arrows and stuff, but almost like gypsies. They would live in a place, but they wouldn't live there permanently, and they would move around and travel. And so they spoke the Hakka language. They look a little bit different, a little bit darker skin. Not part of the 98-99% Han majority in China at the time. That matters a little bit because, yes, he is Chinese. He is native to China. They are Chinese, but they're not Han Chinese. That plays in later. He's from a family that is definitely not rich, but they're also not poor. They're able to hire tutors for him and everything, help him get ready for the imperial exams. A lot of these families were big farm families. They had tons of kids, but they couldn't possibly afford to have all of the kids take the imperial exams. And so he was the one that was chosen. Sometimes you'd pick your kid that seemed most likely to be able to do really well in the exams, and he was that one. So they chose him as that. He didn't have to do the farm work, he didn't have to do the chores and the dirty labor. He just got to study all the time. They would hire tutors to come to the house. They would pay them to teach him, and so he got to learn Confucius classics, poetry, history, reading, writing, all that kind of stuff that you need for the imperial exams. Now remember just how difficult the exams were. There were people that would literally spend their entire life trying to pass the exam. You could take the exam as much as you want. It was given every year. So if you didn't pass, you could study some more. You could try again the next year. It wasn't just about the person, though. It wasn't like, oh, if I do well in the exam, I'll get a cool job, and the family just loved and cared about that person. It was also a benefit to the family if somebody did really well on the exam. Because if you got that imperial position with the government, especially if it was a good position, you scored really highly, that came with property, came with a house, it came with a title, it came with respect, all things a Hakka family probably wouldn't have necessarily had. But it also came with money. You'd have funds. Your parents could move in with you. And if you died, there's kind of a trust fund that would pass on to your kids and your grandkids because you had passed the exams and gotten cool jobs. So it was really important and had a lot of potential for people. So that's why they would work so hard on trying to pass the exam, even if they didn't make it the first few times. And remember, this is not like the ACT. This is not an AP exam. This thing is really hard, ridiculous hard. Less than 1% would even pass high enough to get a job with the government. So there we go, the guy's name, Xiuquan. So Hong would be his family name. Xiuquan would be the name his parents gave him.